Hello, welcome to the Master Toons post awards discussion show. So we went through the awards. We have these lovely people here introducing them.
Hello.
Um, and now I think we're going to break down and just discuss what we think of them, who should have maybe won, why did they win, who else should have been nominated, and so on and so forth. So I think it'd be best just to run through the order we did the awards in. So let's start off with Best New Show. If you can't remember, the nominations for Best New Show was We Bare Bears, One Punch Man, Star versus the Forces of Evil, um,
Assassination Classroom, and
yes,
Wabbit.
Assassination Classroom, and Wabbit. Just to break it down a little bit, Assassination Classroom and Wabbit both got no votes, right? We Bare Bears and Star vs. the Forces of Evil were about the same. Star vs. Forces of Evil had a bit of an edge on that in terms of votes, and One Punch Man got half the votes. So, why did One Punch Man win? Let's get
Because
into it.
because it's simple, because it's popular, because it's a good show, and because it's not comedy bullshit.
Well, I think it's a bit more complex than that. I think it lies in the appeal of its subject matter, because it sort of transcends the typical anime subject matter. It's very much, as weird as it sounds, it's very much more like a relationship drama than a superhero show. It's more to do with the characters' relationships and how they interact, and that gives it a broader appeal than just another kick-punch-fighty show.
Mm. Yeah,
And when you
I'd agree.
and when you
Jake-
consider like the last like really successful anime show that really kind of had that sort of level of popularity was Attack on Titan, and you know nothing against Attack on Titan. It's relative, you know, it's a fun little show. It's just it's very much just sort of like in what you were saying. After a while, it kind of becomes like this sort of action show, which that didn't really have a whole much in terms of plot. Either that or had too much. It's hard to tell really by the end.
I think the big issue with Attack on Titan is it's by about episode 12 or so, it started to lose people, and I think that's because it's just a terribly paced show.
Yeah, I'd agree. I really like Attack on Titan. My roommate's actually watching it downstairs as we speak. I mean, he's got. I don't know why, because he studies film, but he has like a very little attention span when it comes to movies. Like, if we're about to watch a movie, we're like, oh, what happens in it then? I'm like, oh, it's about, it's a detective that does this. Oh, okay, what happens in the end? So I do, just watch it. But he was skipping through all the episodes and skipping through stuff because he just wanted to see, where the action was. And watching it actually is very slow paced. It's like got that anime cliche where something happens and then the characters have to talk about it. I like to call it the Dragon Ball Z phenomenon because like that show is built on that. So like Goku will punch somebody, poof, and they're like, "Did you see him punch that guy? Oh, that training must be paying off."
Yeah,
Yes,
like
I
15
want to have
minutes.
any more punches, and that goes
15
on and on
minutes
and
of
on.
reaction shots.
Well, like
Yeah.
One Punch Man like turns that on its head, where like it's simple, it's easy to follow, it's not. I mean, for an anime, like animes generally are a bit slow paced, but One Punch Man is like what it needs to be. It has the hype, yeah, and then when it comes to the actual fight, usually it's just like boom, and then that's part of the joke.
Yeah,
Like-
it's the entire anti-climax of it. They'll
It-
build up this villain, they'll have him kill
It has-
dozens of people, hundreds, and then just
It-
boop.
Yeah,
It has the best 5 minutes of any anime, like
And
first 5 minutes of any anime ever.
to be honest, if I was going to compare One Punch Man to anything, it'd probably be Popeye.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Because essentially, it's the same setup. There's a drama, there's a situation that has to be resolved. The main players can't resolve it. Popeye, or in this case Saitama, turns up, gets a bit of a beating, then turns around and basically ends it with one punch.
Huh, I never thought about that.
You do realize now that a Popeye and One Punch Man crossover needs to happen now. You do realize this now, right?
Yeah, one punch on, show you one punch on,
Yeah, it's Goonie from Goonie Island.
Can I say this up front? I'm just gonna say this like pure random. I keep on I remember when I was first watching One Punch Man, and I was thinking sometimes whenever I'm bored, I kind of think because films like Dragon Ball Evolution, I'm kind of thinking who would actually be the perfect actor for these? And for some reason, when watching One Punch Man, when it came down to Saitama, even still to this day, the only one I can think of is Carl Pilkington.
Yes. No. I'd have two actors in it. For when he's being normal, dopey Saitama, you'd have Carl Pilkington, and then when he gets serious, you have him switch to Jason Statham.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's genius. That's genius.
It's like,
But
right.
one result in this category did surprise me actually, and it's Star edging out over We Bare Bears. Because as far as I know, Star received sort of very mixed reviews on coming out and seemed to struggle a bit finding its feet, whereas We Bare Bears came out to sort of massive acclaim. It was a show that everyone sort of fell in love with when they watched it.
Yeah.
And for Star to suddenly sort of beat it out, especially because one thing I've sort of noticed is what I like to call CalArts burnout, where because a lot of studios are drawing from the same talent pool, a lot of shows are sort of coming across very samey.
Yeah, I agree.
Whereas We Bare Bears originating as a webcomic sort of falls outside that system. I think that was part of its appeal, but this has sort of made me have to reevaluate that.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed it, but I've noticed a lot of new cartoons. I think it's Adventure Time kind of started it. The kind of almost I think about 40s, 30s, maybe 20s kind of style of animation where if a character goes in surprise, you get the lines coming off, and I think Adventure Time kind of started that style, but we've seen it in so many other things We Bare Bears, Steven Universe, Clarence, stuff like that. Is that wrong to say that Adventure Time kind of brought that back?
I think Adventure Time did. I also think what Adventure Time brought into it, perhaps more than anything the DC animated universe did before, was show sort of mixing traditional cartoons and sort of traditional cartoon reactions, but within the style of, say, anime framing. Scenes sort of look like they're framed in a way that looks like not a comic panel, but a manga panel, and that they look like a scene in an anime, but animated in such a way that's reminiscent of those sort of 20s, 30s cartoons, as you said.
Yeah.
I think that sort of draws in. I think Star versus the Forces of Evil is sort of the that and Steven Universe, I'd say, sort of seem to be the culmination of that. Very much wearing goofy 20s cartoons on the sleeve, while also showing the obvious influence from shows like Sailor Moon.
I mean, I think with Star, my problem with it was two things. I think one, a lot of the humor and jokes and quirkiness was just trite, very done before, bad guys are cowardly, or the big reveal where the bad guy's very small and not a big threat. I also found the dynamic between Star and the boy, I can't remember what he's called.
Marco.
Marco, yeah, that could have been done way better if they made Marco literally what they were kind of going for, which was what's his face from Superbad, Michael Cera.
Sarah, yeah.
Just completely go that direction where he's hopeless, he can't look after himself, he's a bit of a loser with his own life, do you know, that kind of thing. And then Star's his character that's very charismatic, energetic, and like sometimes pulls them into things but can get him out. So like for example, in the fight, he should be useless.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be able to do anything, and Star has to like teach him or save him and stuff. And instead, they made him so he's really good at karate, and it's like, well, what's the point in this dynamic?
Well, that to me sounds a bit like network meddling, you know. They
Oh,
want
we
the,
have to
they
make, we
want
have to
to
make the
show.
boy, yeah,
Yeah, there has to be something. The focus is going to be on the girl, but they want that cross appeal that shows like Adventure Time and Steven Universe have, where it's both more or less an even split between demographics.
So the dynamic I would have liked to have seen, would be what Kim Possible and Ron Stoppable have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you could change it around here, where like, well, Marco is quite straight and smart and stuff, while Star is brave and actually has the power to do things. Does that make sense?
yeah, I get
Yeah.
you. So sort of Marco looking at it logically and thinking, well, the best way we can get out of this is, and then the twist is it turns out it's Star's sort of goofiness that saves the day.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like otherwise it's just like he for some reason has an anxiety problem sometimes, and it doesn't make any sense. Like there's no core of his character. Why is he like that?
Yeah, and it doesn't even seem to come up every episode. It's only whenever they seem they're going to get a joke out of it. It doesn't seem like a consistent character trait.
Yeah, like exactly. Like that's why I'm not. I mean, I don't mind it. I haven't watched in ages, but just because it's
It's
got
not.
very little material to offer me that I find interesting.
And I think the best thing I say about the show is if it came on, I'd leave it on.
Yeah, I might do if I'm doing
yeah,
something else. Yeah.
I'd have it on in the background while I'm doing my ironing or working on something or whatever. But when it comes down to it's not something I'll actively go out of my way to watch. Whereas,
Yeah.
whereas what I found myself with We Bare Bears is, again, it's similar. I was going a little out of my way to watch it. It's kind of, oh, I'm tired, I'm going to bed. Oh, the new Bare Bears is up, I'll watch that first. Almost a sort of an afterthought, but once I remember it's there, I'm willing to go that extra mile to sort of watch it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think Star had that. But again, as I say, that's why it's sort of interesting to me that Star edged out We Bare Bears in this regard.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose Weaver Bears is like kind of a more relaxed show, I suppose.
Yeah. It,
Um,
it, it, I mean, the best thing you can say. I mean, if you describe We Bare Bears, it's nice. It's like niceness personified. There's not a nasty bone in the show's body.
Yeah. I'd like to say with Wabbit, I was actually surprised how much. I haven't seen it in a while, but it's such a strange show. Like, it's not bad, but the kind of humor it goes for is like nothing to do with Bugs Bunny. It's very strange. Like, there was an episode where there were some ninjas, and they were like little, like tiny ninjas, like stumps almost.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is this doing in a Bugs Bunny cartoon? Like, like, well, why? It doesn't. Do you know what I mean? And there's some random shit as well, and some of the humor. It's like strange, but like I said, it wasn't bad. I was actually quite surprised how not horrible it was.
Yeah.
Again, I think Wabbit. I think that's a show that suffered from focus testing. I think, well, not necessarily focus testing, but again, studio interference. I think the creators might have had a clear thing, well, we just sort of want to modernise the old shorts, sort of
Right.
bring them more up to date, make them more timely, as it were. Whereas then you start getting these studio notes coming down from Warner Brothers. Well, this show has these bizarre action elements. We want to market this show as being comparable to that, so include them.
Hmm.
I think there's been a lot of this sort of designed by committee trying to trying to capture sort of Adventure Time in a bottle, if you will.
Yeah. And then there's Assassination Classroom, which I know nothing about, but I assume it's an anime.
It is an anime, and it is a very, very funny show. Essentially, it's about a space alien who's going to destroy the world in 1 year, who decides he's going to be a teacher to a classroom full of misfits, and if they can kill him in that year, then he won't destroy the world.
Makes sense to me.
I've only seen one clip of Assassination Classroom, and it was a dub clip, basically where they were all constantly like trying to shoot at him while he's calling off like attendants.
Yeah, essentially that's it. He teaches them assassination techniques, which it's a weird juxtaposition, but it works really well. And I think that's sort of been the big thing with anime of this year, sort of juxtaposing elements. Because normally you have a show like that and you expect the atmosphere. It's dark, it's brooding, it's all very, edgy. Everyone's super serious. Oh no, the fate of the world. And what you actually get is, to be honest, if I was to describe Assassination Classroom as anything, it's episodic Looney Tunes with character development.
Okay.
It's all very good. The humour comes from the fact it's this absurd situation played completely straight, but as I say, without the sort of broody, any broodiness in it is very much downplayed in favour of how many visual gags can we get in a minute, including an entire recurring gag at the Japanese's own expense, which unfortunately probably doesn't translate too well in the dub, where they get a English teacher called Miss Vitch, but because the Japanese pronounce the V sound as a B, they all spend the entire series calling her Miss Bitch. And hilarity was had.
Nice. So would you recommend it then, yeah?
I would, yeah.
But
Again,
not dubbed. Not dubbed.
Not dubbed.
Okay.
It's a Funimation dub, and this year Funimation have not had a good record.
Well, yeah, and I'd say this as somebody who actually kind of likes Funimation. I do agree with that. That's
Well, okay. What do you guys think then? Should One Punch Man should have won this year for best new show?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh,
I
definitely.
I haven't seen much of it, but from what I've seen, yeah, I think it's worthy of it.
It's a show that sort of it's brought a medium back into public consciousness. I mean, you can argue Attack on Titan did that, but Attack on Titan, it was sort of on the fringes, but it was big within the anime community, but still on the fringes of mainstream. And I think sort of One Punch Man has once again been the driving force that's pushed anime back into the mainstream. It's the new Dragon Ball Z, it's the new Naruto, if you will.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, so should we move on then, chaps?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think
Okay,
we should.
so alright, so we talked a little bit about anime, but best anime. So we had obviously One Punch Man, which killed it, but also a show that I keep hearing about, Little Witch Academia.
I
Yeah.
have seen that.
I keep hearing about that. Food Wars, which I know David you mentioned, and Japan Animator Expo, which I know nothing about. So I think Dave, if you fire away on this one.
To begin with, Japan Animator Expo is an odd choice because it's not one film. As I say, it's a series of 5 to 10 minute shorts by some of the top animation talent in Japan. It's each of the shorts well worth checking out. Some are visually spectacular, some are just outright hilarious. Check them all out. I'd highly recommend it. But as I say, it's not one thing. It depends what you want. So I don't feel it should have really been nominated. A specific short film, sure, but not the whole deal. So with that, if I was going to recommend a couple of shorts, there'd be the one by Trigger, which basically it's sort of very much akin to how can I describe it? Again, it's sort of very Looney Tunes westernish. If you've ever seen Panty of Stocking,
Oh,
it's right up your alley.
I have.
It is basically more Panty and Stocking. And the other short I'd recommend is the fantastically animated and infectiously catchy I Can Friday by Day, which is essentially finding out that Japanese schoolgirls are actually robots powered by tiny anthropomorphic animals.
That doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
okay.
Also,
So-
little apology for our viewers. It just seems like I'm very slotted because I legitimately got no sleep today. Like, I've been up all night, so that's why I'm not saying that much. That's why I listen now.
Cannot
It's
stop
fine.
wanking.
This is why it's always smart to sleep at like 12 or 1 in the afternoon if you've gotten a little sleep.
Thanks.
And George, if we just want to get a reaction out of you, we'll insult you somehow. That normally does it.
You think we should
Sure,
mention
Jackie-
what we were talking about earlier?
No, we need to spare our viewers.
Okay.
George, you disgusting boy.
And we've got the footage to prove it. So, Shigeki no Soma Food Wars. As I basically said, it's a cross between MasterChef and porn. And that's the best way I can think to describe it. Essentially, the entire show it's Dragon Ball Z, but with cooking, and people's clothes flying off because the food is so delicious.
That sounds amazing.
Right, so they get
you got my
food's so
attention?
delicious. They fuck up.
Basically, it's Dragon Ball Z, but instead of fighting, there's cooking, and everybody's clothes fly off because the food's so delicious.
Okay, I've got to watch that.
That is literally the entire show. The characterization again is fantastic. The characters grow and you grow with them. It's not just oh, we're going to grow by getting stronger, but there's actual development in there.
Making better food, is that like the plot?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the entire thing sort of set in a cooking academy, which is the most absurd cooking academy in the world. I mean, this is a cooking academy that's probably richer than most countries.
Yeah.
It's completely absurd premise, but again, it works because it sort of plays it straight. There's no sort of winking at the camera about it. And the other interesting thing is the recipes in the show are actual recipes. The creator works with a professional chef to actually determine that all the information in it is great. So not only do you get to watch it and you get to watch deliciously animated food prepared and busty women's clothes fly off and collapsing in orgasm because of how delicious the food is. These are things that happen.
So it is like the movie Chef then.
Yeah.
Excuse me for a minute. I gotta go do some shopping.
Yeah.
You should buy buckets of lube.
Unsurprisingly, the show's creator did get his start drawing hentai comics. And he just sort of got sick of it one day and went, I want to draw a cooking comic. And it got picked up and he's now massive.
What, because he eats so much?
Like you do.
Well, you need a lot of energy if you're wanking from drawing hentai comics all day.
Well, obviously.
Well, you would know, David.
Yes, I would. You can find my latest on... Well, we won't go there. I'll advertise
Don't
later.
go there.
But yeah, that's essentially Shigeki no Soma. It's a great show because, as I say, it's charming, it's funny, it's intelligent, it plays with its concepts extremely well, and the fact that there's not a hint of sort of nudge, nudge, wink irony that you'd get in a Western show of a similar style. So, on to the next thing in this category, and we'll just avoid One Punch Man because we've talked about that ad infinitum.
Yeah, sure.
Little Witch Academia, which, George, if you'd like to take this one,
Oh,
I
sure.
know it made quite an impression on you.
It did. For those who don't know me, I think I've talked about this before. I'm currently in love with Trigger Animation. Kill la Kill is probably my favorite show of all time, and I love the first Little Witch Academia, and I loved this one. In fact, I went on record one time that if it wasn't under feature length, I think it would classify as probably my favorite anime thing of last year. But that was before I watched The Little Prince and Anomalisa. I'll be getting to the latter soon enough, and I'm glad to see it got its nomination. I'm glad so many people voted for it.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, George sort of hit the nail on the head there. It's a continuation of Trigger's kick-started project, their first project, Little Witch Academia, and it's just fantastic, beautiful animation. Essentially, I think the best way I could describe it for someone who's not seen it, it's Harry Potter with the cuteness ramped up.
Or like I like to describe it, a gigantic fuck you to Channel Federator.
Yeah,
There's one that's
essentially.
another way to put it.
Essentially, it does a lot of stuff shows like Steven Universe and Adventure Time have done, and it does it better, I would say.
I would agree.
Cool.
So, what's
So-
your time in checking out?
Okay, so so two things. Do you think One Punch Man was the best anime listed here? And
Yes.
oh, okay, we'll go into that in a second. And if One Punch Man wasn't here, which one? But I mean, aside from the vote count aside, do you think would be the best anime? Was there any missed? So, but first of all, why do you think we talked about it a little bit, but like, why do you think One Punch Man was better than these other animes listed here?
Strength of writing and characters is what it comes down to. I mean, this has been, well, it's been a shaky year for Western animation. This has been a beyond fantastic year for anime. And
Okay.
One Punch Man is a show that has stood head and shoulders above everything else.
All right. Which one do you think here would be the one that you would most recommend apart from One Punch Man?
Food Wars.
Yeah,
I-
I'm quite interested in that. I thought you said the clothes fall off and everything.
I think after we're done, I'm just gonna watch like the first episode, see what I think of it.
I think I might do the same or that, or take a shower, go to sleep.
I would also like to recommend two shows that didn't end up being nominated this year
That's my
for
next
people
thing,
who are
yeah.
Okay.
interested. The first one being Gangster.
I've
Which
heard of
is-
that one. I've also heard of Man Club, its studio being closed down, which is
Yeah.
a bit of a shame.
Well, Gangster is essentially it's sort of an urban dark fantasy set in the modern day, and it's very much about gang wars and whatnot. I mean, I say dark fantasy. The fantasy element comes in the form of sort of mutants, but it's got a very strong story, a great visual style, and the action scenes are just amazing to behold. Its only real weakness is its characters and the fact that it will never be finished.
Oh, right.
The other one I would recommend is, how do you pronounce this one? Even I struggle. Shimanika, I believe. Essentially, imagine everything that would offend Tumblr put into an anime.
That sounds wonderful. You
That
should probably
sounds
write it
appealing.
down so I look it up. So we look it up.
Yeah.
So what's
Hold
it about
on.
then?
Yeah, it's as I say, it's dirty jokes. It has a woman raping a man.
Oh.
That is the rape.
As if we didn't piss off Tumblr feminists enough in the first video.
Here we go. Shimanita. Just search that. I'm not even going to attempt to
Shimanita.
pronounce.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Like, wasn't it also like a world where dirty jokes don't exist or something like that?
Yes, that's what his full title translates to. A world where dirty jokes don't exist. And essentially, they've banned, or it's about a universe where they've banned anything dirty, offensive, remotely sexual.
Tumblr, yeah.
And Yeah.
Stay away on
And
the red.
Cool, if you're
It's
gonna
kind of
make
ironic that Tumblr is like the go place to like these incredibly inoffensive, like people who are extremely against offensive material, but it's also like filled to the brim with the offensive material as well.
But yeah, this show's essentially about terrorists fighting against this new administration by being naked in public and sharing dirty jokes.
Excellent.
And it also features the head of the Public Order Division raping one of these terrorists.
We
That is a thing that happens in the show. I highly recommend it because it's hilarious. It's a short series at 12 episodes. There's no excuse not to watch it.
Nice. Okay. Should we move on then, chaps?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with best song. I've actually got something to say about this one. Let me just get up the list again. So, oh shit! Did we forget to do best score?
Oh fuck! I think we did. Damn it!
Okay, I'll take full responsibility for that.
Crap!
I mean, I don't think it was a particularly good category anyway. Like, none of the score here was particularly amazing, apart from maybe The Little Princess, which I haven't seen, but I'd gather it's pretty good. Anyway, so best song. So we've got Hero, Stronger Than You, Do It For Him.
That we already did that one.
Yeah, I know, but we're going to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right, so I was going to do my feelings on it, because I've got something to say, right? I thought Hero is a great song. Like, it's a bit of a generic anime song. That makes sense. But
Well,
it is good.
It is by Jam Project, and you know what Stan Bush is to 80s montage music.
Yeah, I mean, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. It's good. It's good. I always get pumped up every time I hear it. So
No, I'm just explaining if it sounds like generic anime, it's because Jam Project basically are a supergroup formed of the Mr. and Mrs. of anime intros.
yeah.
right
I
now
mean-
one of the only name of the group that kind of I can immediately remember right now is Hironobu Kageyama.
Did the theme song for Dragon Ball Z. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, actually, now I'm thinking of the song, I do actually like it more than I initially said. Like, I think the guitar at the start where it goes ding, 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 and it's like, what punch? Well, that's quite irresistible. But it does get some points. Yeah, exactly. It does get some points knocked off because it does not translate well to English at all.
No, it does not.
And again,
That's what
quite
makes it so good.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I also don't get why it's half and half. Like, why is half of it English, half of it Japanese? Like-
mystery.
Well, if you need to ask that, you also need to ask, why did the dinosaurs die?
I don't suppose, David, you'd have the answer for that.
They're just like doing it because they think adding in random English words sounds cool. Or in some cases, they simply do it because the English word has the better syllable fit for the previous line or the following line.
You would not really get that in this country unless you're like, I don't know, The Clash.
Sorry if you suddenly heard like some weird scattering
I
or
say,
something.
should
from
I
some
go?
dogs or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think sort of the best way I can probably describe the way the Japanese do it is imagine the ketchup song's use of actual Spanish.
But they are actually Spanish, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but the entire song's nonsense, except for a handful of words.
Yeah, that's true. And they got cheeky bums.
That's the cheeky.
Why is it
though,
that I've heard
not
of
less
that the ketchup song?
We,
I don't even think it was a big hit over here in America.
I don't know. Yeah, then the other two ones were the Steven Universe ones, and like Stronger Than You, in my opinion, should have won. Like, it's such a kick-ass, like not to be like a bit of a fanboy for it or anything, but like it's such a kick-ass song, and it's really good character dynamics going on with it, and it also feels like it's a good comeback song at the same time in terms of where it is in the story. So when it starts playing, you're like, yeah, fuck yeah. kind
And
of
not
thing.
not to mention, it uses Garnet's voice actress Estelle's. It
Yeah,
uses her
that's it. That's stronger
talents.
for than
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Estelle is a damn cool woman. Like, I'm not a fan of everything that she's ever done, but I don't think there's any like cooler person, like cooler female in the music industry who does like pop and rap at the moment. Like,
No, she. Even if you don't like her songs, you have to recognize there's
sure,
some serious talent there.
yeah.
yeah.
And then there's Do It For Him, Her, which I fucking hate.
Who
I
would
really
put that on there? I'm curious.
it's just everything I hate about Steven Universe. Like, I am not a homophobe. I don't give a shit if there's straight content or if there's a gay couple or there's a lesbian couple storyline. I don't give a shit. What I hate is this beating around the bush, like trying to imply there's something but never actually like showing it. And all they do it because they know they can't get away with it because for some reason like we can't show gay content to kids because it'll fuck them up, which is ridiculous. So
Gay
they
con- I was introduced to the concept of gays when I was like, what, I think 12 or something? And I turned
Yeah.
out fine, I guess.
Is that when your uncle showed you his penis?
No, it's when my parents told me about it.
Did they demonstrate? Did your dad demonstrate?
No, not at all.
You know what
With
this
your
is sounding a lot like now that I think about it?
Well,
Oh,
Well, I mean, there is. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. There's a country song that's been causing a little bit of controversy called "Girl Crush."
okay.
oh, fuck! I know about this piece of
I don't
shit.
know about that.
Yeah, basically the reason why it's causing controversy is the main chorus is "I've got a girl crush," which sounds relatively normal, like a guy singing it, but then it turns out it's a woman singing it.
Oh.
Here's the catch,
yeah.
though. It's not about a lesbian love in any way. It's about a girl who has a girl crush because the girl that she's crushing on reminds her of a guy that she likes for some
Oh,
reason.
okay. Right.
Oh,
And basically,
I thought she had the girl crush because she wanted to be the girl because she was with the guy he likes. Not
oh
that.
yeah, it's something
Yeah.
like that, pretty much. Yeah.
Anyway, so I was saying like it's almost like the only reason they do it is obviously to satisfy the network. But so like the curators can be like, well, we've put the content we want in the show, and fans,
Tumblr.
yeah, and fans on Tumblr be like, it's official, they're together. Like Rebecca Sugar said that they're together, so it must be true. And like, it's like, I just want them to do what Clarence did. Like, there's two gay couples in Clarence that spring to mind. Like, Jeff's lesbian parents. Like, they're his lesbian parents. That's it. There's no innuendo. There's nothing heavily implied. It's that. While this song, all it is implied because they can't show the content, and it's literally designed for fans to go, "Oh, it's official. Oh, it's official." It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
That
You pretty much
fucking
you pretty
bullshit
much
that
summed it up.
drives me up the fucking wall.
Thank you. Someone understands my pain.
I mean,
I'm
it's
not.
just-
I'm not just saying this as an exaggeration. I'm not just saying this because I like doing this kind of stuff. I mean, this is genuinely annoying to me on a deeply personal level because it ruins my enjoyment of each of these shows. It's because of Tumblr idiots like these fucktards that I can't get into these shows. I can't enjoy them because I always go into them expecting the god sense of heaven themselves, but all I end up with is something just merely mediocre instead. How does that feel, Like you're constantly saying, oh, it's official. Oh, it's official. Fucking shut up. No one gives a shit other than you.
I'm so putting this on Tumblr just to see what the reaction is.
Do
Well,
it.
no, I mean for me and Jack though, this is sort of especially egregious with the whole Cartoon Network UK controversy.
Yeah. I don't get that.
It's basically bullshit of the highest order. I mean, I have suspicions, but this is never the time and the place to go into that.
Yeah.
And in effect, all they're doing is, as Jack said, they're robbing the show of validity. They're actually robbing it of representation, and that's why people are getting so upset about it. It's because they see these characters and them not confirming one way or the other. You know, people are then forming, well, it's my head canon, that's more personal to me, so it must be true. If you don't like it, rah rah rah.
Basically, that song is pretty much the the perfect definition of bait.
And you know what the worst thing is? It doesn't matter if they're gay, lesbian, or whatever, because we don't know, because they're all fucking female space rocks.
Yeah, it's true as well.
And have they
Technically, they
forgotten-
have no
I've
gender.
mentioned this before. Have they forgotten that rocks don't have genders? Rocks don't have dicks and vaginas last time I checked.
Well, I bet
Donald
Paul
doesn't
has a
give a
lovely
shit.
snatch.
Watch, this is gonna
Big
leak on
bad
Tumblr,
bullshit.
and everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, well, it's supposed to be like metaphor. It's gonna be like, well, they're still like they look and act like female, so it's all like lesbian." It's like, yeah, but that doesn't change the fact that they have no genders either way.
Yeah, I see that point, but like the fact is, if any normal person was to sit down and watch a show, like all they'd see is women, like slightly sci-fi, but women, and if they were to kiss, it would be like two women kissing. They wouldn't see the story behind it. That makes sense. Like, what's a good example? Like Superman, right? Like, oh, he's a white man. He's a white man. You wouldn't be like, oh, well, technically he's a space alien, so he's not really a white man. He's a space alien. You know, that's the kind of similarity I'd put. Like, he's not an alien first. Most people just see him as like a flying white man, for example.
Look at it! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's a flying white man!
Yeah. I mean, there's probably better examples than that, but that's the kind of equivalence I'd see. So, like, if someone said, like, oh, the most powerful person in the world is a white man, like, you wouldn't expect someone to turn around and be like, well, actually, he's an alien. Like, he's not a white man. Like,
Fuck.
he was drawn a certain way to represent something, you know.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut
It
up!
was
Shut the fuck
Well,
up!
the funny
Shut
thing
up,
about that
shut
is he
up,
was drawn
shut up,
specifically to
shut up,
represent the
shut up,
plight of the
shut up.
the Jewish immigrant population to America.
Right. So that
Yeah.
I'm not saying one thing or another. I'm just saying, like, he
No,
was drawn...
I know, but I'm just sort of saying that's the sort of grand irony that Superman would become endemic of, oh, he's the most powerful white man in the world, given what he's actually meant to be.
Yeah. What he was designed to be was, as you said, like a Jewish man dealing with, coming from somewhere and avoiding like persecution and stuff. Like that's a nice deep element. But, like, you wouldn't say that's what he's just an alien, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
he represents something greater than that, and that's what people see. I think I explained that very badly, to be honest. But whatever.
Anyway, do it for him. Her terrible
Also,
song.
Yeah, I fucking hated it.
Stronger than you. I have no problem with the song, but I can't give it a pass because for how it was paced on. Correction. In what moment it was paced on? Literally, I can't forgive the Cronenberg for putting that song in a very serious fight because pretty much when Garnet starting to open her mouth and starting to sing, pretty much all the tension that was in that moment was sucked out of the fucking building like a fucking vacuum. That's my only problem with the song, the placement.
But Steven Universe isn't a show about tension. It's a show about relationships.
I mean the moment, man. You have to have a good moment, and you have to have a good tension to make it pay off. That's why most of the drama I have of the show pretty much falls apart with me.
But again, that moment wasn't about Garnet having that fight. That moment was about Garnet joining together and saying that, my two halves as one are stronger than you on your own will ever be.
And pretty much making the villain look like a jobber. So
I'll tell you what, there was actually, just to move it on a little bit, like songs that should have been on the list. I swear there was a song from Adventure Time this year, which I listened to and was like, that would fit really well actually on the list. I can't remember what it was.
Uh,
Well, was it the one from Stakes, or was it somewhere else in the
No, it's
series?
before that. I can't remember what it was, but I remember it would have fit really well on the list. Is there any other songs you think that would have been good for the list?
No.
Can't really think of
Oh,
many.
Rick and Morty, get swifty with it. Yeah, getting
well,
swifty.
obviously.
Take a shit. Get swifty.
Yeah, I think sort of the issue is a lot of insert songs this year haven't really sort of stuck. I think in the case of Stronger Than You and Do It for Him, Her, it's more to do with the moment they play as being plot crescendo moments rather than
Yes.
actual standout tracks. I mean, the good songs on their own, but it's more to do with where they're placed in the show than.
Yeah, yeah. I remember last year, like the standout song for me that I instantly remember, you said to be the best song from an animated series last year, Food Chain from Adventure Time. That song's great,
Yeah,
and the animation for it is perfect. Like that's what I want to see. That makes sense. Just a really great song.
yeah, and
But,
I
but
think
yeah,
this
Dave, you're right
year,
for the context.
yeah,
Um,
just go on.
no, I was gonna say like I'm fine with One Punch Man winning because like as a song by itself, it's superior to what the others on the list. But in terms of how it was used in the show, Stronger Than You really does it for me personally. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I don't. You guys mind if I drop out and you guys can message me back when you're talking about the animation category because I want to quickly talk about that.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
sure.
Thanks. See you guys later.
All right. I'm just gonna get myself some yogurt a minute. If you guys want to keep going, and if you wanted to move on, the next topic is
Worst.
worst series, which I know you got the list up for. So back a minute.
Yes, worst series.
By the way, should we talk about like because they did actually have one that I totally understand why it wasn't nominated, but I came across it like this on this year and was basically foaming in the mouth of how much I hated the
Oh,
day.
sure.
There was a show called well, I've heard it's like in other parts it's slightly renamed. Over here in America and in Canada, it's called The Day My Butt Went Psycho, which that should kind of give you a general idea of like the kind of quality we're dealing with. In case you're wondering, from what I understand, it's a Canadian show. Well, actually, it's a Canadian-Australian show based on a series of novels called The Day My Bum Went Psycho. And the basic premise, from what I understand, from what I remember, was at some point, all the human butts in the world, like all the butts in the world, became sentient and revolt against humanity because
They've been getting a bum deal. Hey.
boo. Basically, the humans fought back with like a group of people called butt fighters, and according to the intro, an uneasy peace was made while the world waits for the next great butt fighter. So you think this would be like a weird sort of epic drama about the tensions between humans and butts while trying to maintain the peace and fight off against evil butts, right?
Yeah.
Well, when you learn that it's from our good friends at Teletoon, you should probably drop those hopes immediately.
It's one big extended fart joking episode, isn't it?
Surprisingly, no. It doesn't pretty low. It's basically as juvenile as you get. Like the main characters are extreme dudes, and they're like fighting off against not cool like bad guys like the Great White Blood. I'm sure that there's a racism joke you can make somewhere in there.
The Great White Butt.
And whose plans. See, I would think with like the uneasy peace treatment, I think it would be like him like trying to cause like more tensions or something like that. Like just
Yeah,
like
try and
cause
escalate into a war.
yeah. But no, it seems to be just like either, hey, let's fuck around, like blow up a nearby tent, like cause a volcano to go off in like the town, or let's kidnap the main character's butt named Deuce, because of course.
Because of course.
To sing at a concert because the Great White Butt's a big fan.
Is this Alvin and the Chipmunks?
No, this is something complete that was not even nominated.
Yeah, we're talking about a show that Jacob thinks should have been nominated called
what's
The
that?
Day My Butt Went Psycho.
The Day My Butt Went Psycho.
I think I've heard of that actually. Yeah.
It's based on the Bum trilogy by Andy Griffiths.
And apparently it's like it does it completely differently from like the books. Like the books are apparently like a big story narrative quasi-epic saga of sorts.
Yeah.
Which, in retrospect, for a series that talks about sentient butts, sounds kind of awesome.
Mm.
In a way. Like, it does sound like it has promise, at least. Now, the reason why I don't think it was nominated was because... Oh, God. Bum again in the final pong flicked. Lovely. The reason why I think it wasn't nominated was, technically speaking, it wasn't like available in America until this year. In actuality, it premiered premiered in Australia in 2013, made an appearance in Canada in 2014, and then came out over here in America in 2015. Whether or not you guys got it, I don't know.
Which by then nobody gave a shit. So basically that.
Yeah.
Although they actually did release the second season as a Netflix exclusive over here.
Oh, okay. For me, with the worst show, like, I think this is a good list because I've seen all of these apart from Long Live the Royals, which I saw the pilot of and was like, it's harmless. Just like my take, I saw Inspector Gadget because I watched the first episode. I think it was on Netflix or something. I watched it and I thought, wow, this is a fucking retarded mess. Like, if you've seen it, you were like, what the fuck were they thinking? Like, there was stuff in there that didn't need to be in there.
Excuse me, why would I need to watch the reboot? I have the original. Thank you very much.
See, I don't think the original show was that good.
No,
Like-
it wasn't.
I mean, it really isn't that great, but I mean,
I'll tell you what it had going for it was 80s goofiness. That's what made the show work, and that's why people really liked it, because it had like some 80s goofiness to it. This new show is just like, it's just horrible. Like, it's the same dynamic, but tried to be modernized for no reason. Like, it should have just been a straight reboot instead of a weird sequel.
the only thing I know about it, like specifically, is like Dr. Claw apparently has like a son or something, like a network.
Yeah,
And
it's weird.
there's like weird romantic tension between him and Penny.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, and they made him get a new gadget mobile, which looks horrible, and it's like, why did they need to do that? It could have been part of the charm, where like you have this old rickety piece of shit.
Okay, David, seriously, stop.
Like that could have been funny. Like it's so outdated. Like Inspector Gadget himself. Like they could have That's what they could have done. Like they could have made it so Inspector Gadget is like he was really cool in the 80s. Like all the stuff was really cool. But now with like iPhones and like plasma screen TVs and like smart bombs and shit, he's just like this completely archaic piece of technology. That would have been funny. And then you could have like Penny like they need to get through a door and like Gadget's like going go Gadget keys go Gadget hacker machine. It's like a clockwork something. And then Penny's just there like she gets like an app on her phone and she like just like I've got an app for this, plugs it in.
Quick question: is like her
that would
book
work.
from like the '80s like now a tablet? I'm just curious.
Yeah, but that sort of ties into the show because it's no longer his gadget state of the art. That adds to then his incompetence.
Yeah, like for me, that's how you could have made a modern Inspector Gadget work, and you could have given Claw the same dynamic. And if you wanted his son in there, then his son could be what Penny is. We're like trying to use these modern weapons, modern techniques, and modern technology. Like that would have been great. Instead, we get this awkward schlock that you can't even sell toys with.
I don't think it would have worked for Claw because then you'd be in sort of danger of entering Doctor Evil Austin Powers territory.
Oh yeah.
I'd rather it be a rip-off. I mean, and the difference with that is like his ways, like Doctor Evil's ways were like old and archaic, and he had a team to like bring him up, right? But like Austin Powers, like his ways were still like strong and in some ways better than the new ways. Like they have that dynamic. You could have another dynamic, so Inspector Gadget shit and Dr. Claw is shit, and literally Penny and Dr. Claw's son is like the actual like forces. Like that would have been how you do a modern Inspector Gadget, but whatever. And
I have a question though: is it better or worse than the live-action movie with Matthew Broderick?
Better because it's shorter.
Well, okay, that's good, and at the very least, it feels slightly like Inspector Gadget.
I'd say it's better because the voices are like more original and haven't got any weird shit. Like Dr. Claw is still like in the shadows, like he's not played by that guy. He looks a bit like Brendan Fraser.
Which
but he's not
apparently
Brendan
was like a
Fraser.
thing in the second one, which makes me wonder. Okay, so if they were able to do it with the second one, why didn't they do it with the first one? I can understand like maybe like they were trying to do just like an origin story, but
I don't know.
it still doesn't work. I'll say this much though: at the very least, Inspector Gadget sounds more like this and less like this. This sort of stupid fucking voice. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then just my thoughts on the other three, right? Alvin and the Chipmunks, like, it looks garbage. I don't know why they made the chipmunks look so human. I think it's fucking creepy, like, they're chipmunks, they should look like chipmunks. But at the same time, I've never really been a fan of Alvin and the Chipmunks. Like, again, like, the 80s goofiness, like, sort of worked in their favor. But at the same time, I hate the songs and some of the humor's, again, like, generic 80s goofiness. Not bad, but that's my take on it. So if they made a new shitty show to go with the shitty movies, I don't really care. It's shit, but what
Honestly,
doesn't
my
actually
opinion on
offend
it is I don't really hate this new Alvin and the Chipmunks show. It's too meh to hate, really.
me. Okay.
It's like if you like the '80s show, you'll probably get some enjoyment out of it. I remember liking the '80s show as a kid, but if I would go back now, it's probably just gonna be like, it's all right, I guess.
Yeah. And then the last two, I can't. I'm really struggling to decide which one I hate more, Teen Titans Go or Being Puppet Cat, because Teen Titans Go, I really hate. I mean, not just because I liked the original Teen Titans cartoon and it ruined that, but just how fucking obnoxious and selfish all the characters are, and that the episode that sums it up the most for me is the boys versus girls one. Like, there's so much hate in that episode. I cannot enjoy it. And then they came out with that serious episode where they made fun of people for going like, oh, it's not serious enough. I was like, nobody's saying that. People just saying like, it's just a horrible show now. And then they made fun of people for having those opinions. Like, it wasn't funny. It was just obnoxious. But then,
And pretentious.
right, but then being Puppy Cat was something that the pilot came out, It was quite charming. A lot of people really, really loved it. They gave it money. People put their own hard-earned money so the show could get a series, and they completely fucked over the fans by just making it inferior in every way to the pilot. Like, I think I hate being Cat the most because of that reason. Like, Teen Titans Goes is like it's shit, but at least it makes toys and people are watching it. I don't know why people like it, but people are watching it. While being Cat was just a fucking fu slap in the face to fans.
See,
Like,
that was
we
interesting to
can't
me
be
because
bothered.
I remember like reading like after it came out, like it seemed as though almost everyone liked it well enough, but then like we finally got to the nominations and I realized, wait, what? What's going on? Thank you, David, for pointing out like what was wrong with it now.
Yeah,
I
no
was
problem.
like I was never that into being Cat, but I was fucking disgusted because it got so much money, and uh, I don't know if they're trying to be realistic with their goals, but I'd rather them like make a shorter series, like 3 episodes, right? Maintain the quality that they had, then try and give some more back to the fans, whether it's behind the scenes stuff or merchandise, to try and get some money or attention, and then do another Kickstarter, rather than like however many episodes it was of inferior in every way shite. Like,
Which, especially when you look at the other web-only output with Bravest Warriors, it really sort of demonstrated that being Puppy Cat was just an absolute. It was a failure on every level almost.
yeah, I think the biggest problem with the project was the woman, I can't remember her name, who was in charge of the pilot,
And
who
then
made the pilot,
Natasha Allegri.
right? Natasha, right? So she made a pilot, and then she found herself with a hit on her hands, and she was like, "Yeah, I'd love to make this a series, love to make this a series." And then the producers came in, people want executives, whoever, they came in, they realized how they can make it cheaper and faster, and they played off her inexperience and her willingness to
Just see the project through.
yeah, like, there's nothing against her. Like, she obviously, like, yeah, her dream was to make a show that she had made. And if someone had said, like, oh, we just need to cut a few corners on the animation and such, like, I don't blame her for going with that at all. I blame the people for taking advantage of her inexperience, for getting away with cutting these corners. I think that's a big fuck you, and they should have done better. What do you guys think?
I absolutely agree. I mean, as I say, as you said, the big thing was people threw their own money into this. Was this just Frederator going, yes, we've picked this up, we're going to put some money into it and see how it goes? Fine. But the fact that they promised what they promised and people threw their own cash at it, it's just, you're naturally piling on the hate. I mean, funding these sorts of projects through Kickstarter is a difficult process anyway, and this is a big blow to sort of anyone looking at funding that way, because now it's going to be looked at as, but will it be being Puppy Cat again?
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I really, really wish the project should stick to its guns, and pretty much gave the people what they paid for, because the project really promised too much. It literally, this could have been one of Channel Federation's greatest shows to air on the channels, if not the greatest, but they fucked it up. They fucked up by not just making the entire project cheaper, but also by playing every single person who donate a fucking dime, a living fool out of them. I really don't understand why the fans of Channel Predator haven't caused an uprising, because this is something worthy of a fucking uprising, and to call them from their bullshit.
Well,
But
have you seen Federator's YouTube comments lately?
I seen them. Pretty much I've been positive to indifferent. And none of them.
Yeah.
There's not
Oh,
even a single negative comment
all,
calling them for calling them out.
all the ones I've seen have basically been like, why are you doing being puppy cat? We want bravest warriors. We don't want being puppy cat.
Seriously?
Yeah. I mean, it's quite possible that in the interim since I've seen them, just deleted those.
Huh. Well, then I give them less credit than I do. It's just that I wish and Natasha Levy just came out and literally apologized to everyone who paid for this, because this is just a fucking disaster from inside and out, and pretty much it shows that the channel operator needs to stop holding its best project hostage just because they want to shove being popular on our throats.
I'm wondering if this second season is something contractual, maybe.
Maybe, but we don't know. And so
Here's my question, because it seems as though the second half. I'm just looking at this now. So far, there haven't been any episodes in 2015. Do you guys think that that they may try to improve it in any way, or no?
no.
No.
All right.
Too late.
They've got a formula and they want to stick to that now. They can cheaply produce it. The first run drew in fairly sizable numbers. It wasn't an absolute smash hit, but it drew in a respectable figure. And they're going to try and replicate that without realizing the issues people had with its first run. And it's going to fall flat on its face for this second season.
And don't forget, generally with animation, there are exceptions, but generally, the actual animation quality declines as an animated series progresses. I think The Simpsons and Family Guy, I know they're major networks, but they are prime examples. Like, there's so many memes of like copying or comparing rather old and new. For example, the old intro where Marge turns her head at the checkout. Like, there's loads of frames of her turning around, and it looks really great. And then the new one's like 5 frames, and I think Family Guy now looks like pig shit.
Well,
Like-
Family Guy's basically a clip art show at this point.
Yes, it's horrible. So, being Puppy Cat, like, they're thinking, okay, we've now got a fan base. If we keep making more, then we can get some more money. But why should we use the extra money we make, put it into the animation, when we can like keep it and say, look how much money we're making, and then that will get it more series made. You know what I mean?
I want to see this fail. I mean, I don't hold that much animosity to Old Frederator. I was never really invested in being Puppy Cat anyway. But they need it to fail, and that's simply because they need to realise before they fall into the trap that basically it's a Hanna-Barbera trap. You know, let's produce as much as we can as cheaply as possible. We keep budgets in our marquee shows, but and they need to realise they can't fall into that trap. It might have worked 10, 20, 30 years ago, but these days the audiences are far more discerning, and the age of the audience is watching is far higher than it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any shows you think should have been on here that weren't?
Well, like I said, The Day My Butt Went Psycho. No, we talked about that one already.
Oh yeah. But
Yeah.
I do have one for worst show ever. This is more of a prediction for next year's worst show ever that will unseat being Puppy Cat. It will unseat Alvin, and it will unseat Teen Titans Go as the most hated show in the animation community ever. And that's Gen Z. I reckon next year.
I don't know
What?
anything about that, but okay.
What?
Wait, what? What was it?
Have you guys not seen the trailer for that? I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh my
ba-
god, I'm going to see this now.
But basically, Gen Z, it's meant to have its premiere later this year, And for my prediction for next year, it is going to be literally the worst show of next year. It is going to unseat everything in terms
Okay,
of
let me see
television.
this. Let me see this. Oh shit.
I mean, you think the Family Guy animation is bad?
There's nothing.
Whoa, wait a minute, wait. Let me see if I can get this. Alright.
They met as online gamers. Showed them a stand-up comic. There's nothing like coming of age in a world where all the good Twitter names are gone because you were born too late. Jobs are something you only see in 80s movies. And diet soda
Stay tuned, folks.
Yeah, we're basically talking first world problems, the cartoon here.
a sacrifice.
I just realised I know the fuck the show you're talking about. You're on about that one that's made by a transsexual. Is that correct?
Yep.
And oh
This is
my
not
god,
a TV show.
oh
It's
my
coming
god,
next year. Oh, this year, I
David,
should say.
David, I thought I erased that from my memory. No,
Oh,
This is
no.
not a TV show.
oh,
This
it's
is
horrible.
This
This is like
premieres in March. This
this is like
in
some
March.
college students' animatic for like what they were thinking about doing for their class project.
Oh
Yeah.
no, that's
I
final
refuse
animation,
to
baby.
believe that this is an actual, fully animated series. I refuse to believe this.
Oh, I honestly I feel really bad about it because like I could imagine like someone that's transgender is like, do you know what? I want to make a show that like kind of shows off my
I
core
quite-
values and represents people I think are underrepresented, and that's fair enough. Like I think that's great. You should do your dream, but how this was made, oh, it makes me feel so bad because like if it like imagine other people who want to do the same thing. Like, I want to do a sci-fi show about a transgender captain. Like, they're gonna see this and be like, "Is this how it's gonna turn out? To look like pig
Yeah.
shit."
Is this the foot forward the transgender community wants to put?
And it's gonna be championed because like
This is a transgender series.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's got props for having a transgender voice actor and everything.
I almost thought like it was I thought like a young trans woman wants to be a stand-up comic and her online friends who all move in together. See, I just thought like they were intending originally just to get like a female actress, but they couldn't, so they just hired a guy instead. I did not think about this. Oh my god, because how offensive is that? I gotta be honest.
I tell you what, anybody watching who loves transgender, is transgender, wants to see on TV, you know, whatever. Here's a show you should watch. It's not animated, but it's called Sense8. It's on Netflix, right?
Oh yeah, I've heard of it.
There's gays, there's transgenders, there's lesbians, like, and the show isn't just about, oh, look at these guys, they're gay. Like, it's actually like about their characters and how they interact with other people in the world, and this like level of connection that shows like you can have a spiritual human connection with somebody regardless of their identity. Like, none of this like Tumblr feel good crap. Like, real people is real people on the screen. Watch Sense8. Don't watch this Gen shit, whatever it's called.
Jen said, and I just realized one of the suggested videos is called Jen Said, the most trans-tastic show ever.
Oh God!
We got that to look forward to this
I
year,
hope-
folks. In
David,
March.
David, I'm really hope you're fucking right because this it sounds a bottom of the
We're still on the worst shows, George.
Okay,
Still on
I'm
the-
just checking.
Okay. I think we should